This was brought up back last, I think, November of 19, no, April of 19. And Jeff Hammond at the time kind of put the nix to it because he found an issue with the property line as it was shown on the drawings versus what he believed to be the proper boundary. This would be the property line abutting Evangel Baptist's property. And Sue disagreed, and it got tabled. Then it got handed back to me in November, and I hired a surveyor to verify the boundaries, and Jeff Hammond was correct. The line was wrong on the drawing. Then COVID happened. Eventually I got the proper survey from Al Gordon. I supplied that back to Oliver Associates. They overlaid the new survey with their existing drawings, saw that there was some problems where the parking lot went over off of our property onto Evangel's. They corrected that. So the drawing you have in front of you is the updated drawing with the correct survey underlaid, and everything's been updated to reflect and be on the proper property lines. The only possible, I don't know what the best term is, complaint maybe could be, is that we don't meet the setbacks. There's a parking lot is considered a structure, and a structure requires a 10-foot setback in this zone, and this doesn't meet that. However, if you call it an expansion of a non-conforming structure, you're allowed to continue the non-conformance as long as you don't increase it. And that's what we're doing. We're expanding the parking lot. It's the same boundary, the same distance to the border as it was previously. It's not increasing the non-conformity, but it is extending it.
When it was engineered, why wasn't it just re-engineered to fit the 10-foot setback originally?
I don't know why the existing parking lot doesn't or couldn't, but this new one, they're trying to line them up and connect them, and they also are limited on property behind McLeod's and I think Bookstacks. They own a right-of-way back there, and we can't go into that either. So the goal was to put in as many parking spaces as possible, but the real goal is to fix the drainage problems back there. So the main reason we're doing this is not so much because we are lacking parking, but because there's a major water issue back there, flooding into the back of the old flower shop, into Andy Latcher's building. I haven't heard George say much about it, but I would guess that he's probably having some issues as well.
And the primary entrance is going to be off Central Street?
Yeah, it'll be the same as it is now. As far as enter and exit will be off Central Street. What's that, Ed? A concrete curb. I think there is a right-of-way coming off of Main Street between McLeod's, not McLeod's. Isn't there an opening there somewhere between some of those buildings?
Between our building and the old flower shop.
Between the flower shop and your building, okay. So,
But we are also concerned about, we get water in our cellar as well.
yes, yeah, all the buildings along there are getting major water issues, and the primary goal of this is to capture that water and get it into the stormwater system and to keep it from going down into the back of these buildings.
Pass it on, or go ahead.
I might have one more. Say that again, Ed? Between the parking lot and the buildings, you're saying? You're saying, it's hard to hear you with the mask. Are you saying between the parking lot and the buildings? Yes. I don't believe, that's not our property, so I don't believe we're allowed to go in there and do anything. And oh, no, of course we can't guarantee that. This is just going to greatly improve it. The water that's been coming across the Nason property and coming down the hill from behind it, from Evangel's property, will get captured. And so it'll greatly reduce it. But yeah, it won't eliminate it. There's no way to ever eliminate it completely. But it should help. That's the main goal, is to try and help. Because it's a great deal of water that flows into the back of these buildings.
So do we have to do, there's more? Do we have to do, what do you need from?
Honestly, I'm not really sure why this needs planning board approval, except for the fact that the ordinance states that any municipal project has to have planning board approval, so you guys have to vote on this. But I don't think there's really a lot.
I'm assuming there are butters.
They've all been notified. They're all, from my conversations with them, they're all excited about this happening. They think it's going to help. Does anybody, I guess you guys are the only abutters tonight, but.
I've got a couple of issues I'd like to discuss with Ryan.
It's okay. Well, now's the time, I think, right?
Okay, well, first of all, in talking to Sue, the town manager, she was, the catch basin was gonna be further east. I see it's almost at the end of the current driveway now. What my concern was, is she was gonna allow me to tap into it from my roof drains.
Okay.
And that's not in a position where I can tap into it. Right now, my roof drains all come to the northeast corner of our building. And right now, I have a pipe that runs out, surface, and goes right along the curving to the catch basin in the lot behind the clouds.
Okay.
That's what it does now.
So I see two catch basins on here.
Yes.
One is in the corner and one is a little right of center behind, well, the Austin building. So it's kind of diagonally off the corner there of your building, but you don't think you could tie into that?
Well, that's,
One person at a time, please. It's very difficult to hear in here.
say again, please.
No, I just asked that one person at a time talk, so it's very difficult to hear.
Yeah.
You have the floor.
My downspout are on the northeast corner of the building, and what they do now is I have a pipe runs from that downspout to the corner of the parking lot behind the clouds, and it then follows the curbing down to the catch basin. That's what it's doing currently. I can still accept that, I guess. The fact that it seems to work.
Is that this catch basin that's shown down here, this existing one?
That's the one right directly behind the clouds in that parking lot.
Okay, so it looks like that's still going to be there.
Yes.
And it looks like there's going to be a new line that goes from the new catch basin over to that.
But the other thing that I wanted to comment about the line is, in discussing this with Sue, we kind of agreed that we could have a perforated line between the two catch basins. And the in certain times throughout the winter, I guess I don't understand how the frost goes out. But when we get rain, when the frost is not completely out, we get a horrendous amount of underground water. The other times of the year, we get it on top of the ground. But that particular time, I can't intercept it in any way. I'm still being flooded, and I assume that the flower shop gets flooded as well.
It does.
But-
So you're asking for perimeter drain underneath,
Well,
basically?
Well, we kind of talked about maybe a perforated pipe that could intercept that water,
Right,
that
but-
underground water that's coming through. That intuitively, that's what's happening.
Right. So same thing as a perimeter drain around a house foundation?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
I haven't studied this to look for that. Is there anything like that described?
I don't see anything. I see the drain line, but I don't see any description that talks about.
Well, I don't see any reason why something like that couldn't be added. I can certainly bring that up and have,
That's one of my biggest concerns, because that's the only time that we can't intercept it.
So are
right?
you asking for more drainage in the parking lot project, or do you want part of the drainage on your property as
No,
part of the parking?
this is underground, this is what's coming underground, it'll be coming underneath the parking lot, and it's at the certain times of the year.
Right, and in the plans, it shows crushed stone, and it shows the stone that would be
Yeah, but
underground for the underground
It's
drainage.
been this way for years.
Right, but there's no underground drainage right now.
No.
In the plans, they're gonna
Yes,
incorporate.
but I'm saying though, that it still comes, the catch basin isn't gonna catch it, regardless, because it's not surface water, it's underground during the time when the frost is partway out of the ground, and we do have our storms. So it does come through the hillside.
Right.
No, you're right, but I don't think that will necessarily, because yes, there's crushed stone under there, but there's no perforated pipe or anything that can catch groundwater. If there was also a perforated pipe down there that could catch the groundwater and carry it towards that. Yeah, you could tie it into the existing stormwater. I think it would be really easy to do while they're up digging anyways.
But it's gonna depend on the depth, that he needs to get that water out, and the depth of the new drainage.
Correct.
And the existing.
I can't promise. All I can do is tell all of our associates what we want.
That would be I think if you don't do it, it won't solve the water problem that the flower shop and I have getting it into our cellars. It won't solve that problem unless you can capture that coming
Okay.
underground.
Okay.
Luke, are you acting as the owner's rep or something for this?
It's the town of Bucksport, so yeah.
So you'll talk to.
I will
try
talk
and get that
to-
Incorporated into the plan?
Yeah, Mandy at all of our associates is the one doing the design work, so I will talk to her and tell her what we want. Any other questions? Yeah, Mike?
On the chain link fence that's there, is that going or is that gonna stay?
The one that's around the edges of the nascent property now, I think that goes away.
Okay. Yeah, like on the north side of the parking lot here, our chain will be right behind it, there's some juniper there. That fence is gonna go, right?
I think the fence goes, the rock wall stays, that rock retaining wall stays. But the fence that comes down, like between the parking lot and community pharmacy, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that one, and then the one along the back, right behind the gym.
If it's on our property, it can probably come down. If it's on your property, then I don't know. Do you know if it's on yours or ours? Let's see, I see existing sign and fence. That one's to remain. Existing.
What are you looking for, Mike? Do you want the fence up or?
No, I want to come on.
Oh, you want it on?
Yeah. I mean, we've had, the one fence that goes, goes up by the pharmacy, we've had people walking across from, Jeff Rowdy who hit their head on it.
Yeah.
And, because, there's a section of the fence that's gone,
Okay,
and it's bent and.
I know where you're talking.
I saw a kid come flying down there one time on a bike and was decapitated himself. So, I'm exaggerating.
Right.
But yeah, no, I know along the existing parking lot, I can see there, existing sign fence to remain, I have signs and everything. But, where it's right below our gym, then on the other. Let me see it on.
That seems like an easy do.
And then the other question I had was, back here, a while ago, there was issue about the sewer line from Marks that got under our parking lot and under the gym, and it was believed that it was
I heard something about that, but I don't know much about it. What's your question?
I just wanted to get an update.
Oh.
What, if there's anything been found out, or, because, the way it was left with me, we went to a town meeting. I was led to believe that, the line is broke, and that there is sewerage that's just going into the ground, and it could be going underneath our parking lot.
Your parking lot up above the church.
Sewer line.
City sewer.
Yeah, it's a town line.
That's not something I don't think we can really address here now. A, we don't have knowledge of the subject, and B, it doesn't really pertain to this particular parking lot. I know it's somewhat related, but it's different. But I will make a note of it and see if I can get an update.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to cause a problem.
No.
I was led to believe that this sewer line could be under the ground.
In this area, so they might find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, because, they wanted to know back when we built the gym, what went on, and I contacted, Charles Mason, and he didn't seem to know much of anything, so, about it. And, yeah, that was, I just wanted to, no, I'm excited.
Yep.
So, if I may, on the right side of the drawing, on the right side of the parking lot, it says, remove end section of fence and protect the remaining fence. And then right below that, it says existing sign and fence to remain. So I don't know if that's just on that east side of the parking lot, or surrounding.
I think it's just on that side.
Okay, because so the fence, it appears to me, is the line with the X, with the small X's through it, and, I see that going all the way around, that's the only note that I see.
Well, they could be putting in a new one, maybe. They could be putting in a new fence.
Well, if they did, I would think it would say something. So that is definitely something to clarify, I would say.
Who's in
Yep.
charge of this project for overseeing it for the town, like to make sure that while the construction is done, it's following the plans, is that the J thing?
I'm assuming it's a me and Jay thing. I kind of got thrown into this, so I don't really know. I know it was going to be put out for bid before Jeff put the kibosh on it because he found problems. So then they didn't. I don't think it ever went out for bid. So once we have drawings that we're happy with, if we implement new changes or whatnot, then we'll put a bid package out.
I say part of it going out to bid would be perforated or not perforated, fence or no fence.
Right. So we gotta get those things clarified before we put it out to bid.
And it would say if there is a sewer line underneath there.
Oh, for sure.
Scope, you have a scope or something.
Well, one thing I will say is I do see,
So, is that at least something that wants to be known, if it's broken underneath that parking lot?
it
In that area to be constructed, it's,
does show an existing 8-inch waste line coming down through to the left of the NF Brown. You see that waste line?
is that again?
It says there's an 8-inch waste line coming down beside the Brown property.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the same or different, or I don't know. I have to talk to the sewer department.
You see it, it's a collection.
Yeah.
It's not a pilot line, it goes up to the manhole. There's 2 4-inch coming in the back, which means there's 2 services. One from
But I don't know if that's the line that Mike was talking about though, or if that's a different one. So, but I made a note of it and we'll look into it.
Any other comments?
One other question. I can't tell here, is there any difference in elevation where the parking lot ends on the south side and the existing driveway there? I don't see any,
There's contour lines on here.
Contour numbers on here of 99 to 92. See the numbers 99 to 92?
okay.
Those are contour intervals.
So we're talking about a 2-foot difference in elevation, is that?
No, 7 feet. 7 feet from the north, would be the southwest end to the northeast end.
Okay, but I see the 92 outside of the parking lot. That would be the existing grade level?
It looks like the existing grade is in the 91 range. You see the fainter lines below it, those are the existing contour lines.
Okay.
It doesn't look like they're changing the contour a lot. They're just going to dig it all up and
I guess,
put the drainage stuff in.
Behind the
It all tends towards this leftmost drain now.
Well, and if you look right in the center of the parking lot, you see a contour line, original, as is now, I believe, right, 95.
okay,
And then bold right above it is 96, so it does look like it's coming up a little bit.
yep.
And probably to increase the slope to force the water to where they want it to go.
Well, I guess I was just wondering from the standpoint of when it is a parking lot, how much easy access it will be to the backs of the flower shop and the bookstore.
Well, that's,
Is it gonna be a big drop, or is that gonna be,
shouldn't be, and then that's the intent, is for it to serve those businesses.
right?
Yep.
Right behind the curb to the existing parking lot, it's showing quite
Yeah.
steep slope of car.
So to approve this portion, all we need is a motion for approval, and what else?
To approve the overall project, yeah, that doesn't lock us into any details.
Just gets the ball rolling.
Right, it just means that the planning board doesn't have a problem with the town doing this.
Doesn't need a level 2 review.
That's what I was saying. I couldn't think of the word, that's,
I don't believe so. But I mean, technically, the planning board is a level 2 review. A level 1 review is me.
Right.
So,
are there any other comments?
yeah,
On the back there, like if you're gonna go into Andy's bookstore from the
Mhm.
parking lot, are they gonna make like a opening that would probably take up a parking space where people could come from the parking lot, maybe even have a step there, and they're into Andy's in the back and, the lady next to that? We don't have any
I don't know if there's,
This is in the back.
I don't know if there's a staircase or anything like that planned for back there. I don't see it on the plan. That's another thing I can ask Sue about. I don't know, it looks like there's room there on our, if that's the property line, but,
Yeah, because McLeod's doesn't have anything.
That's a big mistake.
George put a concrete block so that you can step down, jump out of the concrete block and get into his back door.
I will bring it up.
But that would be a big asset to Andy.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the application, get the ball rolling.
Second.
Any other comments? Please.
When is this gonna happen?
That's a whole nother question.
We're already excited.
I know.
That's beyond that pay grade.
So basically, I'll talk to Sue about these changes. If she's on board, we'll get Mandy on it. Hopefully she can make the changes pretty quick. They're not huge changes, I don't think. Then that has to get put out to bid, and that's where the clock, because every contractor I know right now is crazy busy. So they either might not bid, or they might throw out a crazy huge number just because they'll throw it out there and see if it sticks, and it's hard to say. Or they might bid. It's really hard to say. So without knowing what happens in that bid process, I couldn't, I know the town would love to see it happen this fall before the snow flies, but that might be ambitious. I don't know. Of course, this COVID really threw a wrench in everything too. So, but the contractors are just crazy busy.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
You can, I don't need all those. Yep. I got one. What?
So next on our agenda is Stephanie Bridges, an amendment to the White's Brook subdivision.
All right, so this is a really ridiculous thing. Basically, when Dale Henderson came and had this subdivision done back in around, I think, 2001, for whatever reason, the notes on the drawings that you guys, or the planning board at the time, signed, state that the entire 100-acre parcel cannot be further divided in any way without planning board approval. I've never seen anything like that before. Usually the remaining land can be divided after the 5-year period has gone by.
The town already has its own.
Right.
I think after 5 years, you do one subdivision.
Right.
Normally you can, but this drawing that's signed by the planning board and everything says that it can't be divided no matter what. And I didn't pick up on it. The title insurance company did. So basically, I got ahead of myself. Stevie is trying to sell off a piece of her land. She has a buyer. They're under contract. They're getting ready to go to closing. The title insurance company does whatever they do. They call me and say, we found this problem. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's a problem. I think that's silly. But then their lawyer looked at it, and the lawyer said, no, we're not going forward until we get planning board approval. So I've got some drawings here that show the one division, the lot that she's trying to make. It's a 5-acre lot. It's
So
not.
what's existing that wants to be divided?
There's an existing lot, it was remaining land left over from the original subdivision. It's like 21 acres, I believe, and you want to divide 5 off.
I bought 21 acres from Dale Henderson in 2005. I've had all this property since then, and I wanted to sell this lot, and maybe another one later, but
So, like I said, I've never seen anything quite like this, so I kind of feel like it's just a technicality, and I brought the drawings here. If you guys approve it, then you can,
I don't feel like the drawings have much weight on it. I think the information you gave us very much speaks for itself.
well, no, I know, but you need to sign these if you approve it, because this has to get registered with the registry of deeds. So, these are the official ones that you'll sign, but if you want to look at, that's what she's trying to sell right there. I'll pass that around.
And everyone else has bought and sold in the meantime.
Nobody's divided.
Nobody divided it. Well, how did she acquire something?
She's an abutter, so she was allowed to buy the remaining land as an abutter.
Okay.
But when she went to divide it, and I never would have picked up on that. The lawyers found it.
Who would have put that in there?
I don't know. I don't know, and I honestly think what they did was they worded it
Some
wrong.
were between the board and children, and they came up with it up. These words showed up on it. So the
No, the drawings that they signed at the planning board meeting had those notes on it. I don't know why nobody picked up on it.
What does our current subdivision rule, plan or rule say? It's once every 5 years, I believe?
Once every 5 years. In this case, like with a big subdivision like this, the remaining land could be divided or be even a subdivision or whatever after 5 years. They could go do that, but in this particular case, they put this clause in there that said there will be no further division of this 100-acre parcel without planning board approval. So here we are.
That sounds like an easy fix.
That's what I told Stevie. I said, bring drawings in and we'll vote and sign and fix it.
Unless I do something here, that sounds like a really easy fix.
Yeah,
I think what town is, they've been scheming for a long time.
yeah.
They, nowadays they're aware of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to make it easy.
I couldn't hear that.
But you better off.
He basically said you've been through enough and we don't need to make this hard.
Yeah, there's already filters and procedures in place without adding us as a filter
Right,
for something that is already in the conforming process.
right.
Everywhere.
This would conform if it weren't for those notes.
Right.
So it's just a technicality that we need to vote.
Sounds good. Right, Dave?
You got it. So,
Which property line you at?
There's a 5-acre lot there with the, right in the middle.
This says, grant dominion, you want this from, right?
Yeah, this is that land right behind my house.
So can we just make a motion to make the necessary changes to
Yeah.
match our current,
Standards, got
subdivision protocol?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta vote to approve this.
current ordinance, right? Subdivision ordinance, specifically, like, I mean, that's the correct terminology.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If I wanted to do another lot later, what would that look like?
You'd have to wait 5 years.
I'd come before you again? Oh, okay.
So I make a motion that this, process follow the current town of Bucksport subdivision ordinance.
Second.
Just going over my 10 years.
Any other comment? All in favor?
Can you guys sign those?
Do you have to do like a Mylar or anything?
Just those two papers, they don't need the Mylars anymore. So I didn't bring a black felt tip, so. So once you get those, once they're done signing them, you can take them, get them registered. They'll stamp them and do their thing. They'll keep one, and they'll give you back the other one to bring to me. And then I'll file that at the town office. Okay? And then you're good to go. Yep. Sorry you had to do this, but wherever the registry of deeds is, I've never been there. It's in Ellsworth, I know that. I don't know if it's inside City Hall or if it's a separate building or.
In the courthouse.
It's in the courthouse? Okay.
Town court.
Like I said, Pliska and Day can do it too, but I think they'll probably charge you more than if you just do it. So it's $24, I was told. So they register it, they scan it, put it up on their server, and then the lawyers and everybody can download it right off their webpage, and it's recorded forever. One done? Yeah, and don't bend them. I guess they don't like that.
You have a copy?
I'll get a copy after it's registered with the Registry of Deeds. Then they give a copy back and that gets turned into me.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So next we
Yeah.
have administrative business.
Well, we have a non-agenda item. I don't know how you handle that, but,
We can add it, I guess.
it's not, we can't do it officially because it wasn't on the agenda, but he wanted to, present to us what he's looking to do. Basically, it's multifamily housing in the building next door to Dunkin' Donuts. It's next door to Dunkin' Donuts. I think it's 80 US Route 1. Yep.
Turn that into a park building?
Yes.
What's it zoned for right now? Or what is, it's not zoned, but what is the current use?
Commercial and residential.
Yeah, it was a mix. It was commercial on the first floor with an apartment above.
Are you
And,
looking to go all residential or commercial and residential?
All public.
All apartments?
so it would have 4 apartments in it.
Yep.
We've got some floor plans. They're basic, but they're enough that Chris and I can review it and see. So Chris Connor's in the process of doing that now, fire captain. It appears like sprinkler system is gonna be required because it's 4 units.
Have you bought the property yet, or are you just?
Yes, we have.
You have, okay.
So what,
Is this gonna be a new structure or
Modify
modify existing?
the existing.
Old building.
It is an old building.
what do we do for him tonight?
Were you just looking to see what the general vibe was of throwing the idea by us
Yeah.
before you put it all together?
Right. Just kind of like a pre-application meeting to talk to us about what he was doing and get a feeling for if we had any issues or thoughts or things that were going to be a stumbling block that he could get ready for the next meeting.
I think it's been a dump for a while, so if we're gonna improve it, sounds good.
What's that?
Plenty of parking area in front, if it's a place I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yep, plenty of parking.
You have parking in the back too. So
Yep.
there should be at least 4 to 6 in the back.
Yep.
So you,
I think you have a good place.
so the department heads are looking at it now?
We're looking at it now. We didn't get it in time to have it for this meeting. But we're Chris is reviewing it right now. I've looked it over. But he's looking to see if there's any life safety issues that he thinks are
Right.
big issues that I didn't pick up on.
Was there a town road that goes alongside?
There is
Well, there was a paper road, paper street, Miles Lane, and believe that was voted to be done away with last year.
the old bottom half of Miles Lane to Route 1 to Broadway.
Yeah, the town council voted on that last year.
Nothing's gonna.
At the time, Dunkin' Donuts was thinking about buying this property.
You
And-
can still tearing it down.
Yeah.
Just for parking. So
Right.
It wasn't worth. You have to grade all the way down, so it wasn't worth it to them.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think he said there was some ledge in there too.
Yeah.
So, he ended up backing out, but he was thinking he could make the Dunkin' Donuts entrance safer, but it just was gonna be cost prohibitive, so.
I'd say do what Luke and Captain Connor say to do, get the right plans together and bring it back to us.
Yeah, it sounds like a good,
Yeah, why not?
good prospect.
Yeah.
And there's nothing against having,
Multifamily is zoned for that, or is allowed in that zone.
Windmills through the woods right behind it. So,
And it's certainly needed.
yeah. And the abutting property he has is a residential house for sale, and the next place over is a duplex.
Yeah.
So, it's all the same type of thing happening.
It is, except for the rules for a duplex are a lot looser than they are for our 4-unit.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, NFPA really kicks it up a notch once you get into multi-unit.
but there's nothing in our, planning preventing 4 units from being in a property. As long as the fire chief and all of those
Yeah, the reason it has to come to you guys is because it's considered a subdivision. When you take a building and you've got more than 3 units in it like that, it's considered a subdivision. I know that's weird, but that's what the state law says.
How much land do you have there?
Sorry. It is 0.3 acres.
0.3?
That's what the, maybe it will get wrong, but that's what the lady told me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have that information in front of me, but it doesn't need to be much when you've got city sewer and,
I was just wondering if he was gonna have any opposition from any of the butters.
Is parking gonna be an issue?
he's got tons of parking.
Yeah, do it up, bring it back.
Yeah, how would you,
What was your name, sir?
Patrick Chan?
Nice to meet you.
Any other questions from you?
No, I was just, so basically I'm going, just work with you and Chris.
Mhm.
And cut.
Yep. We should be hearing back from Chris any day now, I would think.
Yeah, I actually, he did email with, questions.
Okay.
Then I replied to him a couple days ago. And, yeah, I'll probably talk to him next couple of days to
Okay.
see how it goes. All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Good evening. Thank you.
Any discussion?
I don't know whether Keith's aware of it. I used to own that big old yellow house on the corner.
Which corner?
Regarding Franklin Street, or the corner of Franklin and I don't know if it goes up.
Central?
Yeah, Central Street.
Oh, that, okay, yeah.
So when I owned that house, my sewage line went down behind the place that Mark Eastman owns now.
Mhm.
Went down and behind the barn over there, and then it went down into a manhole on the road that right away that was down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wondered if anybody, I don't know whether that was ever changed. And that was just a clay pipe. And it constantly, in the winter, it would move and it was a terrible thing to do. And nobody in the town wanted to do anything at that time. So I just lived through it. But now it could be going into that could be an issue that nobody would be aware of.
Well, sewer line on Central Street is all,
If you picked it up on Central Street, I'm not sure if it did.
yes.
Did it pick it up?
If you were on that line, that building was had,
Wait a minute, take your mask off. For God's sakes, man.
when the sewer line left Central Street,
Yeah.
that building had,
The one
when
we
you
use
can
in
see, it ties to that line, treatment plant, where the sewer is.
But this went down and into the parking lot of the,
That would be what they call the old, call them alleys. There's one behind the trail back. There's one between Pine Street, Bridge Street. There's one got talking about.
but if they never changed it over, if they never brought the sewage from that building out to Central Street,
Well, that's the building owner, people knew, when that sewer went up there, they put in services to each building to the property, and not to the house. But the homeowner had to put in, period.
yeah, I just wondered if anybody picked that part up, because nobody knew where the, I can't see. If anybody didn't pick that up,
Right.
could,
I hear you.
yeah,
Well,
Homeowners were notified.
now we know.
yeah.
Anyone wish to
Motion to adjourn. Dave, you done?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Thank you, guys.